Okay, we're on.
Okay, so this is test number 2, and
So normally we're live again. Excuse us for those that tried to look to the first test. We didn't have any sound, so if you can lip read, you got
I'll be right back.
me to introduce my son. But if you can't lip read, that means you didn't understand anything. So I'm sitting here in this beautiful blue sky day, and we have sound, and Caleb is sitting next to me. For those that don't know my son, he's been our technician since the first confinement, helping us getting equipment. He got himself a great camera that he films us with for our lives. Now, normally we do everything in French,
yeah.
But today we decided to do a test in English. So if you're there, you want to say hi, tell us where you're watching from, and we're just going to have kind of a chit-chat interview about what's happening here in France with our campuses, with Rhema, and with our book publishing house. Very exciting things are happening. But the most exciting thing is to have Caleb sitting next to me, because he doesn't usually do this. He's usually hidden behind the camera. Take the most beautiful pictures. I don't know if you saw them, of Rebecca pregnancy's pictures with her daughters.
Oh, yeah.
So we're on baby watch. So anytime now, Rebecca will be going to give birth of our grandson. So for those that know us well, we have 2 granddaughters. We're out on the terrace with Laura at the moment.
They just walked past.
Ella is 6.5 and Davina is 4.
Yeah.
And they're staying tonight before they go back to school on Monday. They've had 2 weeks off, and we've had them several times, which is a lot of fun. Anyway, Caleb.
So, pretty much, I just saw that Ike logged on, so hi, Mr. Ike. Nice to see you. And, we've been just testing out some stuff, and one of the things that I don't really enjoy when I watch the live stream is when I see a Zoom logo or the quality is lower. So here I'm just finally, after months of having this program, getting him to sit down, test it out, and just give it a go. Because been doing what live streams we've been doing mainly for Rhema.
Yeah.
We started doing for the recordings some of the courses so that the students could be at home listening and receiving the different teachings, which has been pretty interesting. We did a live stream for Haiti. How many students were there for Haiti?
Yeah, 300 about, well, 290 students, I think. They were in 3 different locations. So we went down to church, and Caleb filmed me teaching. That was for the first time I'd ever done that. I did 4 hours, 3 consecutive days. We had like 3 or 4 students from Nice came in, just so that we weren't alone. So that was very interesting. So did that a few times. And we decided we were going to do something in English.
Mais est-ce que je dois traduire?
No.
No?
We'll keep it in English. But let us know if you're there. So we've used different programs using different things. We do a lot, probably like most of you, a lot of video conferences on Zoom with our French expansion team, with our different campus teams, with our Rhema directors around the world. But what we've been doing, and it's been 18 months now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I started on my own doing a 15-minute live broadcast in the morning. Perhaps you've seen that and wondered what I was on about, because it was all in French. And then Laura started getting up, sitting in her dressing gown and laughing. So you could
sitting
hear
on the
her
couch,
laughing,
like across.
right across from me. And I said, listen, if you're going to get up, people don't want to just hear you laugh, which everyone loves to hear Laura laugh, but they also want to see you. And then so she started doing once a week with me, and now she does every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we just have a wonderful time. Usually we have a theme each week, just sharing. The idea wasn't to teach or to preach, it was basically to share some of our life stories. And we really want to start doing that in English, because God has blessed us so much. We met 41 years ago. We've been married 40 years now. Had some of the most amazing experiences.
Like having 2 kids are amazing.
Having 2 amazing kids. Sometimes people ask Laura what she's most proud of everything we've done. And she always says our 2 kids are what we're most proud of. And I say a hearty amen to that.
Yeah.
Nothing like having kids except having grandkids. But couldn't have the grandkids without the kids. But just so enjoy working with this young man next to me. He's he's one of my heroes. Just so funny.
I'm gonna save this video.
He keeps us laughing.
I'm gonna save this video.
For those who don't know him, you need to get to know him because he is one of the funniest people I've ever met. And when everything else seems to be going wrong or going through a really tough time, he'll just make me laugh and laugh and laugh. And I thank God for him. So I cried when he was born. Laura always says that I was rejoicing when Rebecca was born 2 years later. Caleb was born and I cried. I was just so emotional that God had given me a son. And just love him. We actually, first lockdown was 9 weeks here. Was it 9 weeks? Something like that.
It was in first lockdown. It was March 23rd that they announced in France.
Yeah.
And that was a wild switch from like them being traveling almost every weekend to all of a sudden them being here 24/7. And we had some interesting transitions and just getting used to and readapting the whole system of everything
of
we
life.
do.
Yeah. We'd never ever spent so much time in our own home. And what we did, one of the good things we did with Caleb is every night, because the president of France said that we need to get out an hour a day and that we were allowed to walk just to 1 kilometer, which is 0.6 of a mile. So we literally walked every single road and alleyway and
we did streets that we had
passageway
never even walked on.
all over here, and just talked and talked and talked. It was a very, very great time for us because we've had many times apart when he was traveling, when he was growing up, when he was in the States and in Scotland and in England, and I mean all over. So it was a really, really good connecting time.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And so I grew up a little bit during that time.
No, yeah, but even
He's still working on me.
yeah. A masterpiece in the making, like they say.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece in the making.
No, yeah, so pretty much tonight is just trying to test out, show him this software, show him different options, and after seeing, and also doing comparison on the quality of what the regular live stream would look like compared to this. So after this, we're going to rewatch it, skim through. I will save the video just for myself because there's been so many nice compliments. And then afterwards, we'll see. And actually, we could definitely do a thing like we host, and I'll ask you like some deep philosophical questions.
Yeah, I come from a family. The Madan family is very good about talking to other people about how much we appreciate each other, but sometimes we don't actually say to the person that we appreciate so much how much we appreciate them. I don't know if it's like that in your family, but I'll tell you how amazing my brother is, how my 2 sisters are extraordinary, and I forget sometimes to tell them. But no, we're very, very blessed. God did wonderful things in our lives, in our family, and it continues. So yeah, but this is fun. So we're going to talk about anything specific about ministry?
Okay, so
ask me a question maybe.
Are we going through, because we talked about lockdown, the fact of having for even like, let's say, Rhema France, having to switch all the different courses around, having to weekly meet up.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everybody, because of COVID-19, had to reinvent themselves, and we were no different. We had never done a class online. We'd never been allowed to do a class online. We had never filmed a class. We've always recorded audio. All our classes is one of the requirements. And so suddenly it was quite a shock. We realized that if we weren't going to go and start filming and recording, so very few of our teachers had ever done a live, had taught into a camera. And suddenly we were all forced to do so, and our students were in their homes all across Switzerland and France watching. It was quite a shock, and then we were on I don't know how many video conferences a week.
Just to reschedule the different teachers.
Yeah, rescheduling teachers. So we had teachers coming in, several from the States, quite a few from Canada, who were French speaking, and then we had our Swiss teachers coming to France, our French teachers going to Switzerland, and that just stopped. So we had to redo the whole timetable, change some courses, change some teachers. It was a very exciting time, but I'm sure it was for everybody, so I don't think it was exceptional for us. It's just we lived through it, and I would usually work with our planning team once a year to plan the next 12 to 18 months for at that time, they were 3 campuses because there was our Swiss campus, our Nice campus, and our Paris campus.
And then,
But
yeah,
during
yeah.
lockdown, we added, now it was in the planning already, we added a campus in Nantes. Nantes is the 6th city of France on the west coast of France, on the Atlantic coast. It's basically the capital of the whole of the Atlantic coast. And then we added our 5th campus, which is Marseille. Marseille is France's 2nd city, which is straight south from Paris on the Mediterranean.
It's 2.5 hours from where we live by
Nice,
car,
yeah.
which is pretty
Yeah.
brilliant.
And so that was quite something, because we were so used to going, meeting people, doing things, setting up things, and everything changed. And I think what helped me the most, a church out of Brazil called the Word of Life, I can't say it in Portuguese, in French it's Verbe de la Vie,
Verbe de la vida.
asked me to do a 15-minute teaching on something I had in my heart, and every night they had different people. And I did it and thought, wow.
Wasn't it like a week-long conference or something like that?
They went on for 30 days or something. Every day was someone different. And I thought, I did it in French, and I thought, I can do this. This is me. It's really something. We pastored for 33 years, so I've prepared hundreds of messages, preached hundreds of messages. Then we were traveling, preaching in different churches, doing seminars, teaching in Bible schools. Then in 2007 we started Rhema in Switzerland and been teaching that ever since. But to go live was, I didn't know I could do it.
Like properly stand in front of the camera, not move around. We used to have, backstory from when he was pastoring, we had this tripod with one camera on it. And the whole service, this would have this wobble because he would go back and forth, back and forth. And
I was one of those walking preacher teachers that walked from one end of the stage to the other, off the stage, back onto the stage. So to actually sit still, that's why I decided to stand still or to sit still. Yeah. And actually really enjoy it now. I think I have great pleasure. And I said to Caleb when I first started talking about it, having done this 15-minute video for Verbe de la Vie, I thought I could do this. So I talked to some people, talked about how long we should do, when we should do it. It's always good to discuss with other people, and we came up with the idea it would be good to do it in the morning, because I'm a morning person, and not go more than 15 minutes. So I'm very strict. In fact, we get on at 7:14 and we finish at 7:30. Well, we throw out an anchor usually. And I said, I'm not going to teach. Caleb knows that I love to teach and can teach. We teach when we do a Rhema weekend. I teach 12 sessions of 40 minutes, and that is just a great joy. But I said, I'm not going to teach. Probably share a scripture, but we want to share anecdotes. And he called me up on that several times, saying, so are you sharing stories? Because I realized Laura and I, over the last 40 years of marriage, 41 years since we met, have a lot of stories. And realized that a lot of people...
I got an amazing amount of stories that will never be revealed, except when I will do my own biography book. There's going to be key moments in life and some wisdom that you would not expect, which will hurt no one, but just be beneficial. But that is going to be like in the third.
As I said, Caleb is very funny. Maybe one of the funniest people I've ever met. He keeps us laughing. In fact, he
got some amazing characters.
He keeps me sane. But so we just share anecdotes, and I realized, and we've talked with our board of French World Ministries, that really we should be doing something in English, because there's stories. People have told us we should really write our story, but I'm not a writer. It's very
Actually,
easy.
He is. If you would look at his notes and everything, everything's pretty much scripted out. But then he says he's not a writer, but he actually is.
Yeah, I'm not a book writer, let's put it that way. But I know that God has intervened in our lives. We've lived many, many things. A lot of the stories are funny because we made lots of mistakes. I mean, the fact is, I know we're
preaching on peaches.
Preaching on peaches, yeah.
Instead of
telling them the worst was, and I'll let you hear this one, because once I said in the middle of a sermon, I thought I was saying I've forgotten something, and I actually said I've just wet myself. So
in French.
In French, okay, I just wet myself. So everybody is just falling. I mean, we had to stop the service there. It was done. So we've made lots of mistakes, preaching, but we've made lots of
But-
mistakes in life as well.
Also, the funny thing is that when you come, about all these different stories, everybody actually remembers the stories and will remember the message. And that's why the fact of actually people sharing their own stories and, bringing the word with it in combination is what people actually hold on to. And when you have that moment of past memory, you say, oh, wait, that was this and that. And that's what's so wild.
Yeah, a preacher said, one of our teachers at Rhema said,
Do you remember who it was?
Yes,
Yes?
said
Okay.
that telling stories puts windows in a message.
Mm.
But it's true, sometimes you forget the message, you'll never forget the story. And I think it's so good to hear, because we do preach victory in Jesus,
Absolutely.
because we believe that Jesus came that we might have life and have it more abundantly. But he didn't say life would be easy. He said in this world you would have trouble. But he says, be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. And sometimes because Laura and I, 41 years ago, made the choice every day to get up and to rejoice. It's a choice to rejoice. We decided to put on the attitude of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that we've never had a problem, that we don't do life the same way. For some reason, we don't have bills to pay, and we don't live in a body that can get sick or be attacked. But the fact is, we do deal with all the same things. And even, I say sometimes as a pastor, I think sometimes pastors deal with even more problems. But we've learned to deal with them by looking to God, by rejoicing, by praying. But there are lots of stories. So we have to find the right place to do it and the right time to do it. But I would
Turn
love...
the light on.
We're going to turn the light. It's getting darker and darker here.
Oh, if I would show you the sunset right now, you'd be amazed.
Yeah, we have the most amazing sunsets.
We live
But
in one of the best cities in the world.
That's a story in itself, how we got here. And in the apartment we're in, anybody who's been here will tell you we've just got the most amazing apartment, most amazing view. And at the moment the sunsets are quite amazing. Pictures just don't tell half the story. I don't know.
A father and a son show. Yes, Rebecca.
It's a
the
father
favorite
and son.
son is here right now.
Wait a minute, we have Rebecca online with us. We should see if we can't get her in on with us.
Yeah,
can
I
we?
could probably actually send her a link. She's
That would be
okay.
something.
So what we could do is have a live with Rebecca, you and I. We could do that next time.
That would be fun.
Ravi de vous voir.
Yes.
Ah, mais attends, mais
So,
depuis tout à
so
l'heure.
who else is here?
We haven't even been looking. Oh, so I said greetings from Rhema, Quebec.
Yeah.
We have Rebecca. Et on a Fadila. Oh, Fadila, on t'aime tellement. T'es une bénédiction.
Hey,
Ah, tu nous
Fadila.
manques. Fadila is a friend who she's towards Marseille now, or is it?
No.
What's the town?
She's in Vence. Hey,
Vence?
Fadila.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful. And we got Sebastian. Sebastian, hi from Montpellier. We got
Maybe
the
that's-
joy of seeing Sebastian and Stelly. They have 3 beautiful little girls. When we were in the southwest in September, don't know if you realize we are the richest people you could ever meet, because we have the most amazing friends.
We do have some amazing friends,
you know,
especially people times where it was hard.
People today, the world system is how much money you have, how many investments you have, how many bitcoins you have, what's your 401k.
You're good.
Laura and I really haven't invested like that. We've invested our lives in people, and we are very, very rich because we have the most wonderful, wonderful friends. Thinking of Matt Bennett, because Ike's saying hi from
Sebastian John.
Rhema, Quebec. Matt Bennett, one of our dear friends, is teaching this weekend.
What's he teaching?
I knew you were going to say that, and he told me yesterday.
But you got
and I will remember.
Does he updated that?
No, I don't have that.
Oh, okay.
I don't have.
Oh, wait,
but
wait.
I can
You know
tell
what?
us. So
What's the plan? Yes.
thank you. No, it's quite exciting to do something in English.
And
because
it's different.
so used to doing it in French.
Also, we have no notes right now.
Yeah. So we could go anyway.
So wait. So we did talk about Rhema. We did talk about the fact of pastoring.
I talked a little bit about Rhema.
Yeah, a little bit. But
Well,
we talked
let
about
me
this-
say 2 things about Rhema.
Okay, go for it. Wait, which Rhema are you talking about?
Talking about Rhema France, Rhema Switzerland.
Okay. So
Actually, at this
this.
moment in time, so Donato
This.
Anzalone is teaching at Rhema Nantes,
That's Rhema.
learning to teach. We have 5 campuses.
This-
We have
This Judy.
140 Hey, Judy Lambert from Rhema, Austria. Fred and Judy are two of the most amazing people we know. Americans that left everything, went to Austria and started an amazing church. And I don't know how many campuses they have now, 4 or 5 campuses in Austria. And they're just touching that company. And they're also some of the most lovely, funniest people we know. Just got the biggest hearts. Anyway, we
The
love
funniest
you,
thing is,
Judy.
like, during the
Blessings.
lockdown, you guys had the different Rhema directors meetings.
Yes.
And the laughters that you would hear, like I would be walking by
Yeah.
and just hearing them laugh away.
Yeah, I mean, life is very, very serious. But if you're too serious about yourself, you're missing out. We learned a long time ago to laugh at ourselves, to laugh with our friends, because there's so many serious things happening. And yeah, we've laughed a lot with Fred and Judy. What a blessing. Anyway, as I was saying, we have 5 campuses. We actually, at this time, we have 150 French students in our 5 campuses. Now, that's not talking about Haiti. They're
There he is, just talking about
265.
France and Switzerland.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Haiti has 265 students that are waiting to
Just
graduate because of the assassination of the president and the tremblement de terre. The earthquake. We had to postpone that. They're looking at having another 300 students start probably next year now.
Will that be starting like fresh semester?
No, that's starting a new year, a new 3-year course. And then Rhema Congo started.
Kinshasa.
Which
Allez.
has been on our heart for so long, 23, 24 French-speaking countries in Africa. So it's the first one, it's our breakthrough. 314 students there, very, very exciting. But yeah, Rhema is going really well. And then some people think that John and Laura Madan are Rhema. Well, we're part of Rhema, but we have over 30 teachers here just in the French-speaking Europe. And more in Haiti, in Quebec. And always adding more because we want to reach the French-speaking world. Rhema helped us to do what God had called us to do. I think that's probably the best thing I can say about Rhema. Rhema doesn't tell you what to do. It doesn't tell you where to go. We had already received from God our call to France. When we were in class, we heard very clearly, Laura heard about coming to Nice. I heard that I was a pastor. I knew in my spirit that, and that we should start a church. But Rhema just encouraged us to fulfill God's call in our lives. And that's why I love Rhema so much, because they're not telling people what to do, sending people to different places. They're encouraging everyone to fulfill God's plan for their life. So I love Rhema because of that. And that's what we're doing with our students. And we'll be graduating our 3rd graduating class of Rhema Paris in January. So that's exciting. And then February we'll start another class. And then there'll be a 2nd graduating class at Rhema Oran.
Oran, Switzerland.
Yeah, near Lausanne. That'll be their 2nd graduating class there in June. And then we're looking to start a new class in September. So very exciting. It just keeps turning and adding students and graduating students, and they're going on and doing what God's called them to do. Very exciting. So I think that's probably all I was going to say about Rhema. You wanted to talk about something else?
Okay, let's see what we can talk about. Should we talk about our 2 little guests that are in the back? No,
Yeah,
actually,
we could do, because they might come in. So we
could actually get them to come in.
I don't know. We have 2 guests staying with us. They've been here on and off because they're on fall break, I suppose you call it. 2 weeks off for children in French schools. They go back to school on Monday. So I said Ella is 6.5. She's our eldest granddaughter. Davina is 4, going on 7. She's absolutely amazing because of her older sister. She thinks she should do everything as well. And
Except she sometimes forgets that she's still little.
Yeah,
But
she's still
they're amazing helpers and really cute.
and lots of fun. So they have the best grandmother in the world. So those that know Laura know what a fun person she is. Well, she's even better than you can imagine as a
Wait, you lost me.
grandmother.
Are you talking about mom?
I'm talking mom.
Okay, yeah.
They call her
lost.
Mom. They call me Da. And this is Uncle Bibi. So he's
Yeah.
the best uncle anybody could ever have. But so they're staying with us tonight, and then they'll go back because school starts on Monday. We've got David Anzalone with us. Hey, David. I
You
was
just mentioned your dad.
talking about your dad,
Yeah.
who's
Wait, I'll
teaching
be right
in
back.
Nantes,
Give me a
or
second.
just finished teaching in Nantes. David is a philosopher. He is doing a doctorate in philosophy, I believe in Milan. Anyway, we have just such a great relationship. Excuse me. with the Anzalone family. I'm going to have to drink some tea here. Swallow the fly. So we're just here testing out some equipment and some different things that Caleb wanted to look at, and so we're just talking away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great to have you, David, on with us. Blessings. He is an amazing drummer, amazing interpreter, loves God, and really has a heart for philosophy. And he's not just doing a doctorate in philosophy; he's also teaching at the university on philosophy. And I think it's great to see people finding their place in life, because we all have different calls. A dear friend of ours is at school learning to be a pilot, because that's what he's had on his heart since he was a little boy. He did all his theory in England last year, and since September he's been in Phoenix, Arizona, and he's flying and loving it. And it's just great to see all the people around us finding their place. The world wants to say one of two different things. Either you're bizarre and stop being bizarre, or you should be the same as everybody else. And we have to find our uniqueness in the middle of that. Not that we're bizarre, trying to draw people's attention to ourselves because we do wild things, but we find who we really are. And I suppose that's one of the messages God gave, particularly to my wife, more so than me, is that you are unique. God loves you for who you are, and embrace who you are, but become the best you can be. I think that's, for me, that's the Christian message. Be the best you that you can be. And Laura and I found out that many, many years ago, that we needed Jesus in our hearts to be able to become the best Jesus we could be. And he changed our lives. So anyway, you have some more questions?
No, we're going to do a transition, because you talked about education, learning, and stuff like that. And one of the things that's been cool is actually with Édition Victoire.
Yeah.
So, transition to Édition Victoire, which is the book editing house that was started, how many years ago, do you know?
1986.
Yeah, so before I was born. And how it started off is actually kind of funny, because my parents' said they wanted to come to France, and my dad was so excited that they were going to come.
I don't know why, but we had been studying in Genesis, and Abraham took Lot with him. He allowed Lot to go with him. God told him to leave his family. They were worshippers of stars and other gods, and God told Abraham, leave your family and go to what would become the promised land. And Lot went with him and caused him a lot of trouble. And when my parents said, we just got back from our first trip as a married couple to the States, and God had called us to go to Rhema, but we'd shared, even at our wedding, we were going to France, and they said, we're thinking when we retire, we'll come and work with you. And we go, no, we don't want to take Lot with us. Because seriously, I mean, we didn't know at that time what we were going to do. We had no idea we were going to start a church. And when we got back from Rhema, so we went to Rhema, did 2 years of Rhema, my mum was heading to retirement 6 months later, and they were still saying the same thing.
Your mom was a linguist.
My mum was an amazing linguist, yeah. My parents are looking down from heaven. They're very well. Sometimes I get people calling, asking how they're doing. I said, they're doing great. Especially my dad, they said, so where is he now? I said, well, he's moved. They go, he's moved? Where is he living? I said, he's in heaven. Oh, I'm so sorry. I said, don't be sorry. Something we've learned. You can't be sorry for a Christian that dies. They go to heaven. I mean, it can't get better than that. But we were in France. We'd started a church, and God specifically said to us that we needed to start a publishing house and translate teaching books, because there weren't any in French. No teaching books, Bible teaching books. And the moment God said that, the moment he said that, I knew that's why he'd spoken to my parents. And I called my parents and said, you can come. So they sold the family house. My dad went into pre-retirement, and they came. And basically, yeah. Okay. My mum had retired. My dad hadn't retired. He was a few years younger than my mum. And they came and set up what is called Édition Victoire, Victory Editions. And my mum worked 17 years before going to heaven. Amazing work she did, translating, always working with teams. And my dad did all the administrative, set up everything. Worked with us for 22 years.
Wait, so it was in 86, yeah?
86, yeah. Okay. And then he handed it over to our daughter, Rebecca, who was the editor-in-chief for 7 years, did a tremendous job, took it into a new realm, I'll say, brought it into the 21st century,
Mm-hmm.
21st century. And then as she started a family and we...
Wait, let's show how she was.
Oh, okay, yeah. 1986, this is Rebecca.
So that's when your parents showed up. In 86, because Rebecca was born in 86.
Yes, yeah, they were there. And
She can't! Is she still online? Oh.
I don't know if she's online, but yeah, she was a beautiful little baby. So I'm not sure that's coming up on the live. Oh, there it is. Yes, it's there.
Because there's like a few seconds off. So,
okay.
But that's what's cool about this program, is that you can actually just throw things into it, so we can throw a PSD or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
they showed up.
Yes. So Rebecca was a little bigger than that.
She's so tiny.
She'd been with Jesus Revolution in Norway, and had traveled all over Europe. Came back, felt very strongly she was meant to get involved with the church here, and went and sat next to my dad, and learned the business. And he transitioned to her.
But the thing that was cool is having my grandparents here, already growing up here, having them was amazing. We also had my aunt, my uncle here, my cousins. But what I had with the book ministry was that when I would get kicked out of school, my dad would get me to go down to church, pack up the books, and be shipping them. So I just spent a lot of time down there, packing them up.
A lot
as
of kid. Were you kicked out of school that much?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I mean,
my dad has an amazing memory for certain things.
I have an ability to forget things,
which I should learn someday.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the bad stuff. Even my kids do. As far as I'm concerned, they were perfect children. So when he tells me that, I go, "Really? You went and packed books with my dad?" But my dad really set up, worked 22 years, transitioned to Rebecca.
Yeah.
We didn't know, but a year after he handed it to her, he sat next to her for the year after he transitioned, and then he went home to be with the Lord, and she took over and did an amazing job with it. But with a growing family, and then becoming a senior pastor of the church, because we handed over to her and Philip, she said, "I can't do this anymore." And I realized, big shock, if any of my teachers from high school were aware that I was the editor-in-chief of a publishing house.
My dad, who loves books.
Yeah.
Well, he believes in books,
I
but it's
love
just the reading
books,
part.
Yes, the reading part is more difficult for me. But they would go, "No, that's not possible." But it is possible. Because...
So wait, now I'm going to tell you, because...
Yeah?
How many books have been translated now?
It's over 50, maybe 56 books.
And so my grandmother started it off, and now there's... How many people translating? Team?
We have a team of 6 now. We have a main translator and 5 correctors, because we realize the most important thing with books in French, and it would be a whole different discussion, the importance of the French language, but getting it right is very important.
And so the books that we mainly do, Brother Hagin books.
Yeah. We do Faith Library publication books. So done a lot of Kenneth Hagin books, not because we chose to, but we felt very much God said to do it. You know, often people say...
You were doing the books before even Rhema, before even having the Rhema schools. You were doing
books.
That's one thing to know.
No, but we didn't know we would ever be able to be allowed to have a Rhema Bible training college in French, but we felt this is a call of God. Because when my mum died, she died suddenly in 2002. And the first thing I said to God was, "Okay, so we'll stop. We'll stop translating, and we'll just keep the books that are done in print." And the Lord, I felt like it was a correction, really. He said, "No," in my spirit. He said, "Nope, it wasn't because of your mother I told you to do books." And I said, "Okay, we need to find some other translators." So I actually found 3, and asked my sister, who is also an amazing linguist like my mother was, if she would do a book which was health food. And in fact, she did health food, which is which is a daily devotional on health and healing, 365 days of a scripture, a story, a good confession, and is by far our bestseller, biggest book we've done, bestseller. Had the most amazing testimonies from that book. And so she did that book. We didn't know that she was going to be moving here, joining us. It was something we always desired, but she came and has been here 7 years, maybe more than that now, and actually leads up the translating team. So, yeah, the book, I'm just so excited at the moment about the book publication because over 30 years ago, Laura heard from God that we should put the books into audio. And, oh, you got some books?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you show that one?
All right, so here we got health food, which is in French, la nourriture de la santé.
So it's not a book on diets because we've given it to people and people have been offended thinking we were telling them they did a grape because it's got a beautiful bunch of raisins, of grapes on it. So people think it's a diet book, but it's not. It's a book on divine healing.
Okay, so the music in the background is my niece is watching Toy Story with my mom.
Oh, I thought they were watching White Christmas.
They're loving Toy Story at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're back at watching Toy Story. Then there's Nourriture de la foi, which is
faith food.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a daily reading book, which for 365 days of the year, just like learning a language or playing an instrument. If you want to go strong, if you want to get good at something, you can't do it once a week. I've trained people. I played music for many, many years. I played violin for 12 years, guitar for 40 years. If you really want to do something, you have to do at least 5-10 minutes every day. And it's the same in faith. You can't go to church once a week, read your Bible once a week, and expect to become strong in faith. And we need tools like these to help us. And a good Christian teaching book will always send you back into your Bible. It will always stir you up, make you think, make you ask questions. Because we shouldn't be telling people what they should believe. We should be helping people find what they believe. He's good?
You're doing good.
Anyway, I was saying I'm really excited about the books.
You didn't say the fact that those were all available, those two books, for years through the church website, as a daily that people could go and read for free. Yeah. And for years you wanted to do audiobooks. Yeah. So we wanted, Laura had this in her heart, and we went and asked permission 30 years ago if we could do audiobooks, which would have meant that we would have recorded and put them on cassette tape. And some of you don't know what that means, but that's how we used to listen to things, on a cassette tape, which means we would have to have reproduced them, copied them, and sold them, and it would have been very limited. And we were turned down, point blank, no, you cannot, you do not have permission. How many times are you turned on just for Rhema?
Yeah. You know, I told my daughter this when she wanted to be married the 9th of the 9th in Phillips Town Hall in a little village in Switzerland, because they said, no, we don't do weddings on Wednesdays, we won't do it. And she came to me and said, Dad, they said we can't do it. I said, when was the last time we accepted no? Now that's pretty shocking for some people, because people accept no to them, but I was turned down I think 3 or 4 times when we asked to be Rhema France. But when you get something in your heart, you just can't let people saying no stop you. If you know God has said something, you just keep going. And while you're going, things happen. We waited 25 years. 25 years later, after we were told that we could never, not ever, put the French books in audio, I felt one day I should go back and ask again. What had happened in the meantime? Internet had happened in the meantime. YouTube had happened in the meantime. We had a website. There were all these things that hadn't exist. And to my surprise, and I don't know if you've had this, but when you've been told no so many times, when you're actually told yes, you have to pinch yourself because you're expecting I'm going to hear no again. And you pinch and go, am I awake? Did I dream that? And they said, look, we could. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay. So we found someone who has a beautiful French accent, who's done a lot of radio work. He's been a good friend of ours for many years. He's called Michel Pet. He's a chaplain in prisons. He's worked with radio. Has a lovely accent, because Kenneth Hagin has a very strong Texan accent. It's very particular. When you hear him, you know it's him. We thought we want someone who has a very marked accent. And so he started recording these books for us, and we put them on our website and realized that there wasn't any traffic, if that's the word one uses. Nobody went to our website. I mean, unless you were specifically looking for our books, you wouldn't know. And so that was a little frustrating because we had permission, we were getting them done, but no one was listening to them. And then lockdown happened, then confinement happened.
That changed so many things in the way that we do everything.
I think it changed everything. But for the books, it was a radical change. And I already talked about our dear friend Jeremy, who's trained to be a pilot. He contacted me. He was in England studying online. He was in England because if you want to be a pilot, you have to do, I think it's 24 exams. He had books that go from the floor to my height in the ceiling. He had to know everything in every one of those books so he could become a pilot. And he came to me and said, John, would you like me to open a YouTube channel for the audiobooks? And I said, Jeremy, they're not videos. He said, no, but you can have audio channels on YouTube. And I said, well, do you know how to do it? And he said, no, but I can learn. I love young people today. No, but I can learn. This is my son next to me. He's always learning. It's just extraordinary. The things that I don't know how to, even where to start, he's learning about. But Jeremy opened this channel and people found it and started listening to the books. And we'd already had 20 books that were read. So we put those up. And
I'm having fun. I'm letting you.
First time I asked him for the statistics, he told me that 100,000, this is a year later, okay, 100,000 people had listened to the books on an average of 19 minutes. So I don't know if you realize that's 100,000 times 19, that's 1,900,000 minutes of listening. And so we continued getting books read. We now have 28 books, and by the end of this month, 300,000 people will have listened to them, and they are going everywhere. They're free, which we couldn't have done with cassettes. They're going to places the cassettes could. This is one of the things I'm the most excited about. Why? Because I realize that one word from God can change your life forever.
Amen.
I remember sermons that I heard that totally changed my outlook on life, totally changed the way I think, I act, I respond, and every one of our books is a sermon. It's a message, and it opens the Bible to people. And we realize, in the French-speaking world at least, we have two extremes. We have extreme religion, tradition, that buries people alive.
Yep.
And then we have extreme, I'll call it mysticism, I could call it charismanism, where people are just so out there that it becomes crazy.
Yeah.
And the Word of God is right there in the middle of where we live today, where God intervenes in our everyday life because we ask Him to, because we allow Him to. And these books are just explaining things that people have not understood, helping them get out of any craziness, but also getting out of any religion. You want to come and say hello? No. That's our Davina. No? She's 4 and she's a lot of fun. You don't want to come and say hi to my friends?
Blow a bisou.
You want to blow a kiss?
Blow a kiss.
Anyway, that's Davina. Hey, Kelly Merritt. Our dear friend and partner, Kelly Merritt. Brian and Kelly are from North Carolina, and they've been helping us do what we do around the French-speaking world for many years now. You're a blessing, Kelly. Please say hi to Brian. We're just having a chat here.
Well, you've been preaching. I've been preaching. Yeah, in front
I'm a preacher.
Yeah.
I love sitting in front of a camera today.
I'm going to go back on 2 things that you said. Because, for years, certain things weren't a go. We didn't have the yes to it. But it's Pastor Lynette, I believe, who says, the right plan at the wrong time is the wrong plan. And right now we're seeing how everything's falling into place and so well.
Yeah.
That's what's so amazing with the books, with the audiobooks now. The fact of switching and be able to do the courses and have... Because also in France, people for commuting, it's not all like in the States. Commuting's a pain over here. You don't have
Well,
to use
talk
roads.
about our Paris students. I
Oh,
mean,
some of them
some
do
of them
go
an hour and a half, 2 hours each way to come to school. Yeah, it's a very different one. If you haven't been to Europe, it's like Europeans who haven't been to America and think that America's like Europe. Um,
No.
I say every European should at least do one trip to America. Yeah, there's so much to learn, so many wonderful things of American culture, and every American should come to Europe at least once. So if you haven't got it on your bucket list, I would encourage you to do it. It will be an eye-opener for you. Things that we take for granted in one continent that is just not normal in another. And as Caleb said, I think it's really strong. He repeats it often. I didn't realize that Lynette Hagen said it. Now, Pastor and Lynette Hagen, Pastor Hagen turned 82. He and Lynette set up Rhema because when God spoke through Brother Hagen to start Rhema Bible Training College in 1973, they took a year and started in 1974, but it was Pastor and Lynette who actually set everything up and have done an amazing job, and it's them who allow us to have Rhema and who have kept Rhema on track. Rhema has never changed direction. There's lots of things that Rhema doesn't do, but there's lots of things Rhema does. And
yeah, but also sometimes, you know, when you say, oh, they don't do this, they don't do that, there's often a valid reason.
Oh.
And sometimes we think, oh, we need to know every single reason of why this is this way, why this is that way. That's how I am. I love thinking out of the box and trying different ways. And there are reasons, and you know, everybody does have a call, a specific, and it's not because one person does it this way that you have to do it that way. Like me trying to convince my dad to switch to the program we're using right now to live stream, which I'm going to keep on pushing.
This is what it's all about, friends. If you're on with us, Caleb is trying to show me that
that's the whole reason.
This system is so much better than what we're using. Hey, there's Gleason here. Hey, Gleason, I was talking about it. It was you who invited me over a year and a half ago to do that live with Word of Faith. Verb de la Vie. And it was because of you we started doing live. So how are you doing? Now you're in Portugal now, aren't you? You were living in England at that time. And we've got Joy, one of our Rhema Marseille students. And we have so much, each one of our campuses. If I talk about any of our campuses, you will think it's the best in the world, because it is. And they're so different, with a different group in each one of them. But we have a brother and his two sisters, they're all pastors, who are students at Rhema Marseille, and it's just extraordinary. And Joy, who I believe is the youngest of the family of 5, it was always her desire to go to Bible school, because the others their parents are German, went to Germany to do Bible school, and she couldn't, I think, because of being married and having kids or something like that. And now she's a student, and it is so fun to see them in class. In fact, it's a very exciting time, because we have a sister and her aunt in one campus in Marseille, and then we have brother in Paris. Lots of fun. Lots of us did Rhema as well. Laura and I did Rhema in the States.
I did it in Nice.
Caleb and
my sister was a year above me.
Rebecca and Philip did it. Laura's mother graduated at 70. Yeah. Sometimes we think, well, I'm too old, but Laura's mother was 70 when she graduated from Rhema. No, she was 70.
I thought she was older.
No, but I think probably our eldest graduate from Rhema Switzerland was 80, and I asked her one day, she's in heaven today, but I asked her one day, so why did you do Rhema? And she said, I no longer had the answers for my grandchildren's questions. I said, so you're doing Rhema to be able to answer your and she said, yeah. I said, that's a wonderful reason to do Rhema. Because we need to be in the world God's called us to be in. And a good, solid Bible training helps us answer other people's questions, helps us to be better at what we're called to do. So I don't know if you have other questions. We may have been too long already.
We've done 45 minutes.
Are you serious? I thought we were going to do 15 minutes.
No, you've been preaching away.
Just talking away.
No, let's see.
It's not preaching, it's sharing. I mean, there's
yeah, but you go into sharing and then all of a sudden you get all excited and you start preaching away.
Then I get excited.
Yeah, but that's what's so cool. But no, this could be fun to do. I would definitely like to do this with Rebecca.
Yes.
That would be the funnest.
Yeah, Rebecca is really fun. So at the moment, Rebecca is out here, okay? She's in her 14th month of pregnancy. Or at least she says that she is. No, I'm
I should've
kidding. Okay, I think she just started her 38th week, so we're still in good time. The French doctors would never let it go over. But we're very excited for. He's called Baby Handsome. Okay,
Baby Handsome.
The girls. We were talking to the girls going home one day, and Rebecca was just about to find out whether it was a boy or a girl. And I know some people don't like to know, but we like to know, and they'd like to know as well. And so if it's a girl, what are you going to call it? And Ella and Davina, okay, six and 4, said if it's a girl, she's going to be called Baby Pretty. I said if it's a boy, and he said he's going to be called Baby Handsome. So for the last
this is
7
what
months,
looking like right now.
yeah. So the last 7 months, he's been called Baby Handsome. Now Davina thinks that he should be called Baby Handsome
for life
after his birth, but we won't know his name. Nobody knows his name except Philip and Rebecca because
I'm calling him Samson.
They like
Handsome Samson.
to introduce us. This is what happened with Ella and Davina when we went to the clinic. Maternity ward to meet our granddaughters for the first time.
AJ?
They presented us. Hey,
That's your nephew.
Hey, my nephew. Hey, AJ, how you doing? We're just chatting here. Caleb's showing me a new program, what we can do with it, and so we're chatting. He says
AJ's here.
Us. Yeah, and also Jeremy. Hey, Vio from Tour is on.
Yes.
Hey,
cool.
Jeremy. I don't know. Do you speak English? I don't know if you can follow. We decided to do a live in English. No. I can speak English. I know. I have to realize that most of our students, even if they speak English, have never ever spoken to me in English.
I have to. Okay, so on one of the, I don't remember who it was for you supposed to do a live in English.
Yeah.
Oh, and hearing you read it in English was so funny. No, because he's always reading the Bible in French. So they're hearing him read in English or then certain words. It was like, because your brain thinks in different ways. And so when you study in different languages. And so I was behind and I couldn't even say the things because he's speaking live. And you're like, it's just so wild how,
my mother was a French teacher and she would always tell people, if you want to learn a language, read the Bible in that language. And as hard as it was, both Laura and myself, when we arrived in France, we stopped reading our Bibles in English. We thought we were going to die spiritually because we didn't feel like we were feeding ourselves in French. But we didn't. But the fact is, I can quote and I know my Bible much better in French than in English.
Yeah, but that's
so
after
when maybe once or twice a year I might preach in English, I have to really I have to find my words. It is funny, and some people who've never heard me teach or preach in English go, okay, you're different in English. I'm a different person. We have a dear friend, one of our partners, John Celestin. He's Haitian, and talk to him in English, and you have one person. Talk to him in French, you have another person. It's just a different side of his personality, his French side. It's very interesting. I don't know. Somebody, a psychologist, probably could explain that to us. I can't explain it except I've seen it. So all of you that are bilingual or trilingual. Yeah, ask you this question: who are you in one language and who are you in the other? But it's very interesting.
So it's facts. It's backed by science.
Science says, I bet. Be very careful. Yeah.
Science says one thing one thing the next.
Yeah. So I think we can stick with the Bible, which never changes.
Amen.
Yeah. So have you got any other questions? Because we can't go on all night. Though I could.
Oh, do you want to do a marathon and see how long we could last? How many different people we could have come in?
Yeah, but
we could also do one time where
I would have to set up with snacks if we're going to do it.
Yeah, but we could also do one time where we just do questions and answers and stuff like that, which could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fun if the people who are on wanted to ask a question, the question you've always wanted to ask.
But then we need to do that in French, though.
Well, we can do that in French as well. They were quite interested in English. Yeah. So, I mean...
All right, I got it.
Now, I was European until the 1st of January 2021. At the moment...
I was talking about that?
Well, at the moment, I'm in a no man's land because I don't have papers in France. I have a number.
We're legal till the 1st of January.
I have a number, and I'm expecting to be called. Laura is on her 4th 10-year visa, okay? But they told me over 30 years ago that I'd never need
a visa again,
a green card again. And so I believe them. And then the British, well, thank you all those in England that are listening, who voted England out of the Europe. That's your total right, and I honour you for that.
Yeah, but we're the ones that are paying the consequences.
Because there's lots of problems, but we'll get over it. My first citizenship is in heaven. My heart is French, and my passport at the moment is English. Will always be English. Even if I become French one day, I'll still be English. But my citizenship is definitely from heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So, any other questions? I mean,
I don't know. What do you think so far of this program? You know what?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Well,
so far,
I'm looking in the camera and talking.
Okay,
so really
right now we can pop up
it.
the logo. Let's say
I love it that you can put the French World Ministry logo. We have the most wonderful partners in the States, in England, here in France, in Switzerland.
Your hand's literally behind the logo.
Is that clever?
You know you could actually.
I could hold the logo.
Yeah. Try to put your hand. No. You have to have your thumb slightly like this, so you know you're balancing it.
Okay.
Yeah. So partners.
Yeah, we were salaried by the church for many years.
You know what? For partners, we love you.
Thank you. And we realized that we needed to give that support to the new pastors. So we went to partnership. So that was very exciting. My wife wasn't very pleased with me at first. She said, "You're giving up our salary. We founded this church. We built this church, and now you're giving it away." I go, "Yeah, that's what we're doing."
Mm-hmm.
I'm a radical.
Yeah, but God's faithful
all the way through, and God's faithful. But our partners are faithful because it's because of them we can continue what we're doing. And French World Ministries is the means by which our American partners support us. Stewardship Services. I don't know if you have Stewardship Service in England. A wonderful group. They've been supporting churches and Christian ministries for over 100 years. You can do that. That's wonderful. Yeah.
There you go.
But Lisa's watching.
Which one?
Lisa Davidson. We don't. We aren't on one baby watch.
Excuse me. Lisa Davidson.
Madan. Sorry.
Thank you. She's family.
Hey, Daniel, Peter's eldest son, married a beautiful English girl called Lisa. We already have a son who's about to turn 3. He is the bee's knees as far as Ella and Davina are concerned. Cousins are the best.
Harvey.
Yeah. Anyway, so Lisa is also expecting. So we're wondering whether they'll be in the clinic at the same time giving birth. She's having a little girl. Rebecca's having a little boy.
What would be funny is if they do a day apart, because with her husband Daniel, we have a day apart. Well, a year apart also, but a day apart.
Yeah. So
that would be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
That way we could do both birthdays.
Yeah. So so I haven't actually been looking at the program very much. Kayla's been looking at it. But you could just make a comment. If you've enjoyed this...
this is actually the program that we use for Rhema, for when they do... we record the courses and everything. That's what everybody's been using.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. I am not a technician. Okay? People thank me. They keep congratulating me. I said, listen, we have the best teams. We have the best technicians. I don't know how it works. I just use it if I need to, or let other people use it. But we have the most amazing team in each of our campuses. Just the most wonderful men and women. They love God. Mm-hmm. They love people. They love what Rhema is doing in training people up. Same with with Edition Victoire, our publishing house. I have the most amazing team of people, both in the office, those that translate, correct, those that work on the website. It's a blessing of God to me. Because there's lots of things I can't do, and I know because Laura and I are so at ease speaking to people. We can speak to crowds of thousands of people. We've done it. We can speak to one person. Laura's the most amazing person I know because she'll talk to anybody, anywhere, and love on them. But we're very at ease talking. But we realize there's lots of things we can't do. And so we've got people like Caleb here, and others. So what are you going to do now? Are you going to show us something else? He's going to do something else. He's really enjoying this.
This is aquí. Okay. So TAC, Ministère Efficace. Do you remember that course?
Yeah, that's the course I taught. Haiti.
Here, let's just get this properly straight.
You're going to put that in front of our faces?
No, Doc. So for Haiti, you did this course, and you see how just doing that?
Yeah. So
this is all French for me.
It's all French for you. It's French for everybody. Yeah, so this is what we did for Haiti. So they had me filming on one side, and then
Yeah, but then we had the
verses
camera
that
more
I
like
did.
centered in and stuff, so it'd be like.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh.
yeah, I don't want to bore people now though with this.
Yeah, but I'm
Oh, Laurent Joly is here. Hi guys. So good
Hello,
to see
Monsieur Laurent.
Hey, so Laurent
Right.
just taught on, what did he teach? On ethics, one of our great courses at Rhema, Switzerland. There in their last 6 months. How did it go? I'm sure you had a blast. We had a lovely time with them in August. Got the most amazing students. Men and women that are just excited about God. So
You know,
did you have a good time?
You know,
I'm
we've done
sure.
an hour.
We've done an hour. That's crazy. We're just
And
trying something out here.
Plus the 5 other minutes where there was no sound.
Oh yeah, we did start. This was our second run. The first time we did 5 minutes without sound. Now this is becoming a tradition for Laura and I. We did a partner meeting where
the
Laura
first
and
one.
I were preaching away, and
And then the house
phone went off, and I
after
said,
7
"Who's
minutes?
bugging me?" And it was Rebecca saying, "We can't
Voice
hear you." No,
Was it Rebecca?
it was Rebecca. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
too funny. Anyway.
Good.
We probably need to run this down.
Wait,
What we're thinking of doing, what we'd like to do, is a regular, maybe
One in English?
once a week, 15 minutes or something. We just have to find the right time to do it, because if we do it this time, it's 5:45 here in France, which means they haven't changed their times yet in Tulsa. In Tulsa, it's 11:45, almost midday. Normally it'd be 11:45. 7 hours difference. Out in California, there's 9 hours. For those that don't know, America is so big, they have 3 different time zones. So it's not always so easy to find times that work, but God is good.
I'll show you one more thing.
One more thing.
There's one thing that. And that's
So I want to thank Caleb here. He helps us all the time. We do video conferences for people. Laura did one this morning. She was online with I don't know how many women from how many different countries and continents, even in French. I did a staff meeting for a ministry the other day. We did a healing school the other night. Did 4 hours, and Caleb always sets everything up, gets our lighting good, makes us look really good.
Yeah, the lighting's not great right now, but it's because we don't have all the soft
we
boxes.
didn't put
and
the
everything.
soft boxes.
Yeah.
We
So,
just tried.
and my dad has become a video cameraman. Check this out.
Qui sont remarquables et belles, et les hommes qui sont pleins de force. Leurs amis sont
it's got the
quelque
filter
chose
there.
qui sont précieux. Et quand
So
vous
right now,
avez un
I got the
ami,
video on.
il faut
Yeah,
le chiffrer.
okay.
And so there'll be.
Il faut prendre le
See?
temps
So
pour
this is
les
Laura.
encourager. Parce que je sais qu'il veut vous encourager.
Twice a
Mais
week, she
prenez
does
le
that
temps
with an encouragement
de
of Laura, encouragement
inciter,
from Laura
aller
in French.
dans le rêve que Dieu
For
leur a donné.
I don't know how many people
Ça
she
fait
sends
beaucoup
it
de
out to,
différence
probably
quand vous avez les
300
gens qui
different
tiennent à
people
votre côté
who
et qui
watch it.
lèvent
Just
vos
1
mains,
minute.
qui dit,
I'm her
vas-y,
cameraman.
vous pouvez le faire,
And
parce que Dieu est
people
en
just
vous,
love to
parce que
see
vous
her.
êtes génial,
She sends
parce
it
que
out
vous êtes
early Monday
remarquable.
morning and then
Mes amis
Thursday morning. And
sont
someone
très
come and say
précieux
hi.
pour
Yeah,
moi.
Davina's behind
Et je
you.
veux
Hi,
vous
Davina.
encourager.
Anyway, I
Si
think we
vous
need to say
n'avez
goodbye
pas
because
encore de
it's
véritables amis,
Davina, you want to come say
dans le
bye-bye?
Seigneur, demande au Seigneur,
Ouais.
parce que
Tac.
ils sont en
And now you
période
remember how to.
Yeah.
qui vaut
So
Right.
Lawrence just said that they had a
investir.
wonderful time
Partage.
on the campus and what great students.
There we go.
And we have Davina behind us doing cartwheels. So,
Hello.
Laura, Kayla, I think it's time to say goodbye. Oh,
Yes!
No, that's just a somersault. She's doing great. So
So
this is our 4-year-old. Do you want to come and say hello? No. You want to say goodbye?
Come on, say bye-bye to everybody.
This
Come
is
on.
our beautiful Davina.
Say bye-bye. Tell him bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, Davina,
So we'll
Push
say
it.
bye for
Push.
now.
Click
and,
you're gonna hang up.
there.
Good job. And broadcast, and we click end. Click it one more time. Okay. Bye, everybody. We love you. Bless you.
That's
Davina,
it.
you think?